It's raining and it's windy outside today, so it feels like double lockdown. So I'm inside in my little tangerine reading nest up in the eaves of the house. I grew up in a terraced house on the side of the hill, but because it was an end terrace, we could claim that it was semi detached in more aspirant moments. And there were a couple called the Redferns who lived across the gap, an older couple with no children of their own who became babysitters and surrogate grandparents. They were from a different age. They were old fashioned, I guess, very rooted in the house. Elsie forever occupied with the washing, which used to hang out on a line that ran between their gable end and our gable end. And Fred always pottering around in his huts and tool sheds and all these tunnels and this labyrinth of rooms that he'd excavated in the basement. So that gap between the houses, its span, was a kind of circuit breaker, but a semiconductor as well between, you know, our lives and their lives and their very different sensibilities and attitudes. A generation gap, I guess, that I shuttled across all the time until that distance became too far or too difficult to navigate. Miniatures. A washing line strung between our house and theirs. Those friendly neighbours, settlers from a lost age and a childless planet. In this flashback scene, I'm the kids sprawled on their front room carpet, staging shows and plays with the sugar-glazed Capo de Monte pieces in the opera house of their hearth and fireplace. The reclining shepherd, the snooty princess, the drunken soldier, the tramp on the bench, the pig in the trough, and the rearing horse. Every figure worth a fortnight's wages. Teaspoon, tack, spokeshave, bit, thimble, bradawl, crochet hook. For my 21st, I hunted down a first edition of George Mackay Brown's Fisherman with Ploughs, with a netted shoal and plough at rest on the brick-coloured cover, and handed it over. Then they handed it back, gift-wrapped in waxy brown paper and gardening twine, with a fiver like a bookmark slipped inside. The apple cellar, a wren in its nest, the poised ballerina, the scribe at his desk. When I lift the lid of the model village, they're just as I left them, tinkering, grafting, the king in his kingdom of hen-scratched earth, a soft flurry of Rhode Island reds around his work boots, or alone in the shed among oil guns and ratchets, hunched and wordless. The queen in the gathered light of the porch, knotting coasters, doilies, cushion covers and christening bonnets, with a worn tortoise-shell tatting shuttle and fisheye needles. Or through veils of steam, glistening and ghostly, rising from the cellar draped in laundry, the yard a surrender of boil-washed sheets and pillowcases. I see white paper, clean pages,